And I am so glad that RFK Jr. and the Team Trump decided to do this the day after the Democrat convention to steal their thunder, like they tried with the whole Biden coup and installing her after the RNC. You've known the man for decades, I would assume. Talk to me about this huge endorsement from RFK Jr., Raj.
Well, this is really an extraordinary, cataclysmic, not cataclysmic, but I would say an enormous event, a historic event. What it really symbolizes is the realignment in our politics. Sadly, the old Democrat Party that was anti-communist, that was pro-freedom, pro-capitalism, pro-free enterprise, perhaps they wanted to spend and tax a bit more than Republicans, but they were basically, for a strong national defense. That Democrat Party is dead. It has been hijacked by a Marxist clique, and there is no room for centrist or even conservative Democrats like Tulsi Gabbard, like Robert F. Kennedy. The Democrat Party kneecapped him at every turn. First, they tried to stop his challenge within the party of his father and his uncle by switching the rules, punishing him, canceling the Iowa and New Hampshire primaries, telling him if he ran in Georgia, he couldn't be on the ballot down the road. Then, when he became an independent, they went to court in every state where he had filed to get on the ballot to try to get him knocked off the ballot. Sounds undemocratic to me, Dan.
Yeah.
So, like all Americans, he continues to be shocked by the things we learned from Butler, Pennsylvania, questions for which there are no answers. We now know that the Secret Service knew for 92 minutes there was an armed man inside the perimeter, but they did not remove President Trump, and they didn't even warn him. Beyond that, we now know that local police, state police, the FBI, the Secret Service, and the Department of Homeland Security were all on different radio frequencies. He recognizes that we have a deep state here of unelected elites who are seeking to run the country. They cooked up the Russian collusion hoax. They cooked up the Ukrainian hoax. They're responsible for the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. They tried to kill Ronald Reagan. I'm working a book on that. They did succeed in killing John Kennedy. So I think I give great credit to Robert Kennedy. I don't agree with him on everything, but I think he's been courageous on health freedom issues. I think he's been courageous in his demand for a secure border. I think he's been courageous in his opposition to the war machine. And he's absolutely right about our food poisoning us today.
And I'm so glad you brought that up about who RFK is and how the party left him, because I remember my grandmother growing up always, and she was a Reaganite, she loved Ronald Reagan, and she would always use the phrase Kennedy Democrats. This is in the 80s and 90s as I was growing up. And what do you mean by that, Grandma? These are Kennedy Democrats, people you can have a civil conversation with, and they're going to agree with you on we need a border, we need a strong foreign policy, a strong economy, we should make the American worker first, keep all your woke crap out of schools. There were certain things you could talk. Now, maybe some gun issues and abortion issues and labor issues and unions, you couldn't have a discussion with them. But maybe 7 out of 10 you could, and I miss those people. Roger, my question to you is, do you think this major endorsement, because I agree with you, it's huge, is this going to swing some independents, libertarians, Democrats who don't like Kamala and know that the party has changed, and even some of those weak-kneed Republicans who were like, well, I'm not with Trump because of the vaccine or because of his mean tweets? Do you think RFK can bring some of those voters over, or a lot of those voters over?
I absolutely believe that he can. I think Bobby Kennedy's able to lay out the stark differences now between the parties. They are the party of war. They are the party. They are the party of chaos. They are the party of lawlessness. They are the party of a criminalized justice system. They're the party of high prices. They're high party of having to beg the Venezuelans to buy crude, which is the lowest, cheapest grade oil and the most expensive to refine, passing that cost on to Americans instead of drilling for oil and gas here.